Update: my parents told me we were going on a family vacation for my birthday, but when I came downstairs with my suitcase, my sister, the favorite, just laughed and handed me a list of chores to do while they were away. That evening, I sent them a photo of my small birthday celebration with some unexpected guests, and they freaked out, immediately booking the next flight home. I guess nobody was surprised that I had chosen to stay with Fiona because they knew that she and I had been the best of friends since we were really little. When they came by, her parents refused to let them in and said that they had no business trying to talk to me when I had made it very clear that I was not interested in speaking to them about anything. But my parents started threatening to take legal steps against Fiona's parents, and I got kind of scared. So I told them to let them in, and I would be ready to talk to them. They were furious with me and said that no matter what they had done, I still had no right to involve their business associates in this because now their entire reputation was in ruins. None of their co-workers and associates were willing to even speak to them, some had even blocked my mom and dad. They were blaming me for all of this, which I think is fair because I did orchestrate this entire thing. But I also told them that if they had just shown me a bit of kindness and not utterly humiliated me by pulling that stunt on my birthday, I wouldn't have done any of this. I ended up shouting at them for always treating me badly in comparison to Alex and said that she, along with my parents, had ruined my life and that I was never going to forgive them for that. Things got really heated, and all of us were yelling at each other so much that Fiona's parents had to intervene, and Fiona had to take me out of the room to calm me down. When I had finally calmed down, her parents came to me and said that my parents had left and that they were going to make sure they never got to speak to me until I was ready to come face to face with them. Then they suggested that I should really consider legal recourse, like emancipation from my parents, because it had become increasingly obvious that they couldn't care about me any less, and it was time that I cut them out of my life for good. So after discussing this with Fiona's parents, I decided to speak to a lawyer, and we are now considering emancipation. I'm still very confused about it because this is a huge decision to make, and I don't want to regret anything in the future. But honestly, at the rate that things are going, I don't think I will. Yesterday, my parents got in touch with me again against my will. Last evening, I received an email, and I knew from the address that it was from my parents. I tried really hard not to open it, but curiosity got the better of me, and I ended up reading it. They had essentially started off by telling me that the reason they had even surprised me with that trip was because one of my father's clients had opened up a new spa and resort in the Poconos, and this was a perk for my dad and the family. He just decided to utilize this opportunity around the same time as my birthday, but when Alex brought up my finals, they didn't want my grades to slip later on just because I had taken a vacation with them a couple of weeks before my exams. They couldn't believe that I had misconstrued it as something ugly and tried to get revenge on them for it. It just made them feel like they had not raised me right. Alex herself was upset, and she only wanted to be a good, concerned big sister to me, so there was no need for me to overreact the way that I had. It was all a bunch of baloney, and I was really annoyed, so I almost stopped reading the email halfway through. But then the next half was all about how upset they were that I had involved other people in our family drama and aired our dirty laundry in public because this was something that they had never wanted or even expected to happen. They said that regardless of how many fights we had had, I had never come up to them and told them directly exactly what issues I was having with them, so they were never able to work on it. They claimed that if I had just spoken to them once and discussed my feelings with them, then they might have been able to make things right with me. But instead, I had taken such a drastic step. They said that the list of chores that Alex had left with me was a tad bit too much, but even then, I should have called them up later on and confronted them about it. They would have come back immediately if they knew that I was feeling left out and neglected. However, the way that I had chosen to deal with the situation was really unexpected, and they felt bad about everything because apparently, they genuinely didn't want to hurt me, and this was just an unfortunate misunderstanding blown out of proportion. They want me to talk to them and sort things out, but I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm having very mixed feelings about this, so please help me out. Am I the a-hole for throwing a party and exposing my parents amongst all their co-workers and business associates after they left me out while they went on vacation? Update 1. Okay, so most of you think that what I did was completely fine and that they deserved it and that there is nothing that I have to apologize for. So I have decided that I'm not going to apologize. I blocked the email address that they sent that email to me from, so they wouldn't be able to contact me again. I know that they can just make another one and keep trying to text me, but I'll just keep blocking them. I have made up my mind now, whatever they try to say to me, I'm just not going to respond to it or even try to read it. It's just not worth it. All it's going to do is mess me up in the head even more. As for emancipation, I have decided that I'm going through with it. It's a huge deal, and I know that I'm still too young, but Fiona and her parents have reassured me that no matter what happens, they are going to be by my side, and I have nothing to worry about. They have told me that they can even legally adopt me if that's going to make me feel less nervous, and I actually think that it might, but I haven't thought about that yet. Right now, we are only focusing on the emancipation, and we have spoken to a lawyer, and the paperwork is being processed at the moment. I truly don't know how my parents are going to react to it because when they sent me that email, I could tell that they were not happy about the fact that I'm choosing to live with Fiona and her parents as of now, which doesn't even make sense to me. From the way that I have been treated my entire life, it has become very obvious to me that they really don't want me that much. At least, they don't want me in their home as much as they want Alex around them. That's very obvious to me, and yet they are still trying to reach out to me, and that is just very confusing for me. I have a feeling that they only want to get me back because they want to fix their reputation and their image, nothing else. I'm just very confused at the moment. Right now, all I can do is wait for them to receive the paperwork and see how they react to it. It's been a couple of days since my post, and they have not tried to reach out to me again after that email, so I don't know what they're feeling at the moment. I know that things cannot be good for them either because there were a bunch of people at the party that I had invited, and I've been hearing from people that Alex and her boyfriend broke up, but nobody knows the reason except for me, of course. Update 2. Hi guys, so a couple of days back, my parents were finally served with the paperwork for my legal emancipation, and they were not happy about it, which was quite surprising for me. They called up Fiona's parents, and there was a huge fight since apparently, they believed that Fiona and her parents had put me up to this and were controlling me. They did not think that I was doing this of my own will, which didn't make sense to me because, do they realize how badly they've treated me in the past? Of course, I was doing this of my own free will. Nobody even had to force me to think twice. I had sort of started anticipating this kind of reaction from them after I had posted my last update since a lot of you had told me that they were doing exactly what I thought they were doing. They only wanted me back so that they could show everyone that we were a happy family and that whatever I had said at the party was just me being bratty. But I did not go back to them, and that's what really made them mad.